Hello everyone, Storm 101 here. Today we'll be having a quick update on the tropics here. We now have Tropical Depression 14 and 13. We'll be talking about those we'll be talking about that in this video here. We won't be talking much about the disturbance that's about to get into the Atlantic, although an update from the National Hurricane Center, which it did increase the chances the next 5 days to 50%, although the next 48 hours is a low end 20% chance. But that's gonna be um, we're gonna see what's gonna happen with that disturbance later on. But the main focus at this point here is gonna be 14 and 13 in this video, and we're gonna first talk about 14, which we now have advisories out for 14, and we'll go ahead and get to the cone here for the National Hurricane Center. So right now, it's about to make a little bit of an impact for portions of Central America there, and eventually get back over the waters again, and likely intensify some again when it gets closer to Mexico. And they're predicting a high-end tropical storm, maybe could be very close to a Category 1 hurricane before it makes landfall into Mexico. Then, wherever it gets off of Mexico, we're not 100% sure from there, there's still some uncertainties beyond Mexico at this point here. But you can see here where they have that cone kind of leading to. Actually, it's leading towards Texas and Louisiana, which we'll be keeping an eye on that very closely there. But let's go over here to tropical tidbits here. We're going to look at a few models here. And from infrared satellite imagery, as of right now, it's actually better organized than 13 as of right now. So, on that, you do have some convection really started to develop on the southwest side of the storm. You actually could see where the circulation is as of right now. So, it's really starting to get better organized. I'll say at this point here, it's pretty close to a tropical storm, although we could see that get upgraded tonight if hurricane hunters, which they're in tropical depression 14 right now, we're going to see if they can record any tropical storm winds inside of Tropical Depression 14. So we'll find that out by tonight there on National Hurricane Center's 11 o'clock update for later tonight. See if it gets upgraded to a tropical storm or not. So let's take a look at some hurricane models here. So here you go. Makes landfall in Mexico for about the next 2 days there. Then by the 3 day mark, it gets into the Gulf of Mexico, and that's an area where we're not 100% sure, where there's some uncertainties here. You can see a pretty large spread in the models. You got one model all the way to southeastern Alabama, and models all the way by Houston. So that's a very large spread in the models. Here we're going to see where the models are going to be trending in the 0Z update, but this is the 18Z. And you can see, as of right now, the models are in a better agreement to have landfall between Lake Charles or even to Houston, Texas. But we'll be keeping an eye on the tracks very closely here. And here's the intensity guidance. Likely take this as a grain of salt with this here. I don't think it's really quite realistic, although the models are in a pretty good agreement that it'll be likely maintaining tropical storm strength as it passes over kind of Mexico, which I highly doubt that. And it seems like they're predicting that it's not going to really die down all that much, even though it'll be over land for about nearly a day. But again, still some uncertainties on the intensity there when when it gets back over into the Gulf of Mexico, because it could get very disorganized when it just hits land, wherever it just hit land by Mexico. And so we'll be watching that again very closely there. So it's really going to be depending on if it could still be pretty organized after it passes Mexico or not. So on that, let's actually take a look at let's take a look into the GFS here, and you can see a very large spread in the members here, although you do have a good chunk hitting either into Louisiana or Texas and kind of curve. We're going to keep an eye on that curve there because, or that turn. It could happen a little bit early on. If it happens a little bit early on, it'd be more of a Louisiana effect. If it happens later, like the GFS ensemble is showing, it may happen into Texas there. So we'll be have to keep an eye on that. And here's the Canadian model, extremely really just all over the place from the CMC ensembles there. So that's pretty much it from Tropical Depression 14. Let's move on to 13, which is right now very disorganized. It's actually kind of pretty hard to tell where the circulation is. It's very hard to tell. You can see it's just having a hard time with wind shear and dry air. So I highly doubt it will be coming a tropical storm tonight, although it may have a chance tomorrow. That's that's possible. You can see there. Let's go back here. Take a look at the cone here. So here we go. In Essex here, they do expect it to become a tropical storm by 2 o'clock tomorrow. You can see we do have tropical storm watches for portions of the Lesser Antilles and Puerto Rico there. They do expect us to become a hurricane when it gets to Florida, a Category 1 hurricane. So definitely something we need to keep an eye on there. So let's take a look at some models here. You can see a pretty good agreement here with the track here. Actually, a really good agreement, actually. And the bad part is, it's actually going to be, looks to be missing Florida. So if these models here are right, um, a tropical depression 13 can be a little bit stronger here. And again, here, when it doesn't hit any land, it's likely going to be a stronger storm here. So it's in a pretty good agreement that it's going to be making landfall in across southern Alabama in the panhandle of Florida and continuing into the Tennessee Valley there. So definitely something to keep an eye on. And also another thing to notice is that some models are predicting that uh, at least some of the ensemble members that it could get they can get very close to each other when it gets into the Tennessee Valley and also nearby Kentucky. And that would be an area to really watch for as well. See, it's going to be very interesting to watch and see if what's going to be happening there, since those systems will be very close to each other there. And that's also the same situation in the Gulf of Mexico here. And when you get two low pressure systems very close to each other, kind of near the same strength here, they're not gonna be merging or anything. They're actually be kind of going around in circles around each other. So that'd be very interesting to watch there in the Gulf of Mexico there. Let's take a look at the GFS ensembles here. Pretty good agreement from the hurricane models making landfall towards Mississippi and Alabama. It kind of curving into the Tennessee Valley and even to portions of Kentucky. And again here with the GFS ensembles, if we go back here with um, Tropical Depression 14, you can see here some of the members actually bringing it to some of those similar areas there a little bit early on. So if this is that type of case there, we could be seeing some flooding issues across some of these areas here they probably already got hit by. If the models verify here, portions of Tennessee Valley, even into Kentucky, might already got hit by Tropical Depression 13, and then maybe a day or two later, they get impacted by 14. Now it's going to really depend on the intensity of these storms here and see how well they can hold together over land. So that's still a big question that will be yet to be answered um, very soon there. But that's definitely something interesting I wanted to mention there. And here's the Canadian model here. And it does put the mean a little farther to the east, but you can see you do have a pretty good spread in the model. Uh, you got a group of members here definitely taking it into portions of, the Dixie Valley, into the Ohio Valley, Tennessee Valley there as well. So this would be definitely be something to keep an eye on, especially when these two models two storm systems go over the same area, that could create a flash flood threat there. So again, definitely something we need to keep an eye on there. And I think this is which looks like we just got an update here. We're actually now on 0Z now for Tropical Depression 13. You can actually see here, very large spread in the models here. You actually got two models in a decent agreement there for a major hurricane, although you still got a large spread in models. So you go from a Category 4 hurricane down to a tropical depression. But again, the hurricane also been doing really terrible on the intensity so far this hurricane season. So likely be taking this as a grain of salt there. And since that's been updated, everything else is probably updated as well. And yes, that is looked to be the case here. So now we're on 0Z, and we're actually getting a little bit of better agreement there. It seems like not too much of a way of change there. If we go back to 13 here, see what the malls are actually predicting here now. Uh, actually 14 here. I might have got some of that stuff there backwards. And it seems like it's not updated on here just yet. Kind of a bad timing here. Yeah, it's not updated there. So, yeah, guys, definitely something we need to really watch for very closely for Tropical Depression 14 and 13. But anyways, guys, this is all for you guys today. Hope you guys did enjoy this Tropicals update video. If you guys did like this video, hit the like button. If you really do like my channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notifications so you never miss an upload. If you guys have questions about this, you can put a comment section down below. I'll answer your guys' questions. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.